Oh, g'day, Mr. Fitz here. Hope you're going well. This short tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to create a bit of artwork for you to laser engrave onto your peg. So carrying on from some work we did earlier in the term on Adobe Illustrator, this is the main program that we use for laser cutting. Now, there's a file I need you to access off of Daymap. It's called Peg Laser Engraving Template. So please download that from Daymap first. Once downloaded, please save to your H drive. You should know how to do that. And then you can open in Illustrator. So Adobe Illustrator, just a reminder, I suggest if you're using this for the first time on a new computer to change up the right here to Essentials Classic. This gives you all of the borders and headings and things that you generally need. So yours should look a bit like mine. Mine might be slightly different, but this is the basic layout for Illustrator that you need. Okay, this is the size, or what we call the artboard, of the job that we are going to make. So I've provided this template for you. Inside here is a rectangular box. On the side here, it gives me the dimensions of this. So it's 35 millimeters wide and 90 millimeters high. And that is essentially a safe area for you to create a graphic to etch onto your peg. So this is a black outline, and anything in Illustrator that is black will get etched on the laser cutter. So the idea is that we're not doing any cutting today. All we are doing is etching. So anything inside here is what we're going to etch. Now, you're fairly free to do what you like here. You might want to do something like text. So clicking on the type tool here, you can easily create some text. So then you can click in here and say something like, Mr. Fitz's peg. What you can also do is highlight your text. You can change up the top here the font style. So a bit like Microsoft Word. You might make it something cool, Helvetica, don't know. Find a cool font that you like. You can change the size of it. Now I might make it bigger and then put in a space there. Highlight this and make it centered and move this where I want it. So again, it must be inside that black boundary for it to work. You can also click and resize. A little hint here, when you resize something in Illustrator, if you hold the Shift key on your keyboard, it resizes it evenly like this. You can also resize it by changing the width and the height here as well by putting in the amount. Now I'm going to add a cool graphic to mine. You're welcome to do the same as long as it's appropriate. And what I suggest you do is go open up a browser. Now the one and only good football team in the AFL is the Adelaide Crows. I suggest that you put in what you'd like to search for under Google Images. So I've typed in Adelaide Crows black and white. Make sure you add black and white to the end of it, because we must find a black image for us to etch. You're trying to do a color image, you're going to have trouble. So for example, even this one with grays, gray doesn't etch, only black. So I'm going to find this logo here is pretty cool. Now, with this open, I can right click with my mouse and go save image as. I'm going to save this onto my H drive. So find your H drive, save it to appropriate location. Then back in Adobe Illustrator, what I can then do is now go File, Place to bring in that image. So if I go to my H drive, this here is my image, go Place and click, and it brings in my image. Now you can see here this is really, really big. So what I can do is try and move it a little. Ways you can minimize it is if I go to View, I can change my size, go Fit All in Window. No, that doesn't work. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out a few times. try to get it all inside there. Now what I can do is click on a corner, and again holding the Shift key, I can resize my crow. Now, as I may have explained on an earlier video, what we want to do to this, I can zoom in, is I need to convert this from an image file into what's called a vector file. So what I can do here is click Image Trace, and that should go in and convert that to a vector. Now what I can do is click on Expand on this one, and this is now all a series of vectors, which is what I want. Now I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here. I don't want the white around the outside, so if I right click on here and go Ungroup, because typically it keeps them all together, I can now click just on the outside white and just press Delete. So all I want is this object here. Now I can drag a window around my crow, and I can move it into the middle. I can click on a corner and resize it by holding the Shift key and move it inside here. There we go. So if I zoom in a few times, you can see that's all black, and that there is going to etch in black. I can also drag my window back to select it. Over on the side here, if I want to make some changes to this, I can change my stroke. Stroke is the outline of my object, so if I click on black, I can make the outline more bold, and I can change the size of the stroke too. So you can see the difference when I change these. Looks like I've also chosen the outside of my box, but here we go. So you can make it really thick. I'm just going to make it 0.5 to make that a little bit more bold. So as you can see now, it's a bit easier to see, and that should etch a little better. Cool, you might want to move these around. There we go, I'm happy with that. You're more than welcome to play around with Illustrator. There's different tools in here. You can draw shapes. So I can draw a rectangle here. Don't forget that the information for this is on the right. I can change the stroke, which is the outline, or the fill. Obviously black is going to be etch, so make sure you use black. But I might make it white fill and change my stroke, my outline, to black. So I can create a rectangle. Whoops. You can also create, if you click and hold, you can create circles, all kinds of shapes. You can draw lines and arcs and spirals. There are a lot of drawing tools here, as you find with something like Microsoft Word. So welcome to have a play. I suggest adding some text and an image as I've shown you. Get that set up. Make sure you save your file to your H drive, and then Mr. Fitz will show you how to upload this back to Daymap, because I want you to upload to an assessment task. That way Mr. Fitz can get this and we can save it and put it on the laser cutter. Cool, best of luck. Cheers.